Hey, bud. Talk to you for a minute. No, you don't like raisins, but your Aunt Fifi made that gorp just for you. And if you don't want it, just take it on the trail, put it in your pocket, and dump it out later. But let her just see that you're taking the gorp with you. My name is Josh. Welcome to the show. Who's here? Say hello. It rhymed. I'll go
Hi,
first.
I'm Maya
My name is Josh.
Davies.
Welcome to the show. It's also joined by Lizette.
Hi. Thanks for having me again.
Oh yeah. Welcome back once again. Where are you? Where are you at lately?
So, Let's Hablar Solita podcast is on YouTube. It's also on Spotify and Apple Music. You can find us on TikTok at Maya Ladies 7. We are also having Let's Hablar podcast on those same platforms, same location.
Nice. Also joined by the elegant Chelsea.
Hi.
Yep.
How's
And
it
you
going?
don't do the socials, do you? You're just over there on the TheSadFan, right?
Yep, I'm keeping pretty quiet these days on social media. If you find me, don't tell anyone. But yes, I am on the TheSadFan every week. Most weeks, life is a little crazy, but with Fry over here and my brother. Good times.
Yeah. Wes couldn't make it today. He's never invited. Fry, what's up, man?
Wes is just way too hard to track down and wrangle when it comes to any other show. So since we've got him on I'm very hesitant to even change the recording time for the TheSadFan just because of Wes.
Yeah. So Fry,
where's Waldo?
you had.
Where's Waldo?
Where's Wes?
Where's Waldo?
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Check it out in post. But Fry, you had this really good new idea, newish. I think we're not using a receptacle today. We're gonna get really nice and easy with it, with living in the moment, like a Bon Jovi song, Mr. Bovine Joni himself. You want to elaborate a little bit?
I think it's a good time to do things like that. I mean, you've got lots of stuff going on. We've got different conflicts around the globe going on. And then we're all slowly branching out into different things or new things, including this company's in its second year now. We're about to hit our first full year as an official company, which I think is pretty cool, in the state of New Mexico, to be clear. But
you didn't have to. Anyway.
But I think it's interesting to visit times and think about times as a group of people, to include all of our listeners. Think about those times where something occurred where you thought to yourself, how did I get here? Or, wow, what is going on right now is really awesome or really crazy. Or maybe you can go back to it because it was really sad and it impacted you in a way that you were like, I can never let this go because it hit me so hard. And here's the truth with that portion of what we might get into is sometimes you just want to be a little sad, right? Like, and I think that's okay. Like, sometimes you force yourself to be, you look in the mirror and you're like, you cry, damn it. You cry right now.
All right.
Remember that time?
Yep.
So, yeah, I think it's going to be more of a free-flowing dialogue. And I've got some different items that I'm going to bring up. So the first one is family functions. Not to get weird, but I think family functions are a thing that create a spectrum of moments, right? Good, bad, funny, hilarious. Like I still remember that time that person made that joke that is so not 2023 appropriate. But back then it was so funny that joke was made. Or some people are still making those jokes in private, so don't put your friends and family on blast during these family functions. But what do you...
if you're going to actually talk about someone specific in this episode, just make it Josh. Like my Uncle Josh or whatever. If you're talking shit on a family member, just say their name is Josh.
Just say it. So, really quick, Chelsea, what do you think it is about those gatherings or those moments with family that create those almost out-of-body experiences?
Well, I was actually kind of like trying to rack my mind around this a little bit and try to think through some of these moments, because my family, and Fry, you might know this, my family is really, really small, and it gets smaller every year, it seems like, and we're all really spread out. So it's really just me and my brother, and sometimes, parent is like kind of, but we're just so separated. And the only time where I can think of like that I've had significant, really crazy family moments is funerals. And I don't want to start everyone off on that because I have a feeling we weren't really going there just yet. We were thinking more along the lines of Thanksgiving, but the biggest Thanksgiving I think my family had
caskets.
I think the biggest Thanksgiving my family had was like 5-6 people total.
Wow.
So yeah, I'll punt that question to someone else.
Okay.
Well, Lizette, I know you. I've seen your mom is one of those people that posts 10,000 pictures on social media with this thing.
Yes.
And we're not there yet. And there's nothing wrong with that. I kind of enjoy it. It's funny. It's who she is. It's a part of, like, she adopted this culture and she's not letting it go. So,
Nope.
So you have huge family functions. So you don't have to, I mean, if you feel like you want to tell a story, but I'm trying to get to, what do we think it is about these events that create these lasting moments?
I have one that sticks out in my brain, but I don't think it should. I was probably way too young to even witness this. I do have a huge family, and we have like crazy out there events from the time I was little. Even we have a mutual family member, Jordan, and of course your aunt. She's not my mom's blood relative, but they're family. So even your mom's my aunt. It's a big family. And they didn't come to this party. And it's almost like they weren't supposed to be there because it was at my godmother's house. And it's a pool party. People are drinking. They're having fun. And next thing you know, my dad and my godfather end up in the pool with their watches, pagers, wallets, pretty much everything that they need is in this pool, and they have no idea how they got there. Mind you, we saw them fall in. Like, they took the umbrella from the table in with them. We saw them almost in slow motion fall in to the pool. And my aunt still lives there. My godmother still lives there. So every time we have a party, I always picture them falling into the pool.
You have that permanent imprint. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll be stuck looking at the pool. Like, they'll see me just looking at that specific spot. And I'm like, I can't.
That's cool.
Get it out of
Can't let it go.
I think that's probably a great example. Like, just because, time is relative and technically everything's happening at the same time and all this, I don't know. I'm not smart enough to really talk about time, but like, you do get stuck in moments in certain places or areas. And I think it's similar to like walking into an old church and just like feeling the energy that it has or feeling the memories that must have happened inside this place. Kind of like that, but it's just for you because only you saw your uncle fall in the way that you saw it and whatever.
Yeah.
Josh, I think you could be a regular Stephen Hawking if you wanted to talk about time.
Just give me a calculator, babe.
Were you going to use it to talk? Bad joke. Bad.
That's
right.
not a good one.
Oh.
Also, Lizette referred to what is commonly referred to as a parasol as an umbrella. So that's our family.
That's funny.
Same thing. To me, it's the same thing.
I'm with you. I had no idea what a parasol was until I was like an adult with my own money. My family called it "get the umbrella," and then I would realize, oh, I'm an uncultured person. I was like, they're like, go get that parasol. I'm like, what's that? And they're like, over there. I was like, the umbrella?
I've very rarely heard it called parasol, except for like in books.
Yeah, because most of us are Mormon.
Yeah.
Most of us call it umbrella. Like, that's pretty much what it's called.
Yeah. If it's good enough for Rihanna, it's good enough for me. Ella.
Yeah.
But Josh, so the crux of what I'm getting at though is why do we think that these events, like what about these events burns images like her uncle's falling into the pool into our minds? Is it the people that are there, or is it the relationships we have with those people? What do you think?
Yeah. In this, I was kind of just trying to nail that down a little bit, and I think a good indicator or a good reason would be the people we're with, like the cocktail of humans that are there or lack thereof, and noticing who's not there. They're both equally as strong. But like I was just thinking, my first thought was multiple parties that I would go to with my dad or my parents or whatever, go to like an Air Force squadron has a big barbecue, so all their kids and families are there, whatever. And I just remember I feel like I was the little weasel kid. I was always trying to find some food and just running around with my little weasel kid friends that I just met or I'm friends with from before. But like we just run around and like hold sticks and bang on stuff and run around and what are you kids doing? Get out of there. All right. And then we run to the front yard and my dad's like, stay out of the front, just stay in or out, pick one, all this. I just felt like the little weasel boy. And that I bring that up because like you were just with these kids that like sometimes you'd never seen them before and you probably will never see them again. They're just like somebody's kids. Yeah. And you're like, what's up? I don't even know your name. Do you want to be best friends for the next 20 minutes? Yup. And then you're just in this mind meld where, so that's a good example of, I don't know, that having the right people there just makes these things happen. So I'm very much in a lot of places in my mind of the days when I was Weasel Boy.
Go ahead, Chelsea.
It's just so funny because like these like instant, but also just spontaneous and ephemeral relationships that you have with people where you're like, you're my best friend. It just reminds me of like being an adult, sort of, but being in a bar bathroom really drunk and like making friends with a girl in the bathroom and like holding her hair back or she's holding mine. And I'm like, you're my best friend. Like, thank you. And then like maybe go out, dance for a minute and then get distracted and leave. But they were my best friend for like, 10, 20 minutes. And it was great.
So I've been doing that wrong all this time. I walk out. Like I don't want you throwing up on my shoes. I'm out. I'll come back later.
No friends in the bathroom. No friends in the bathroom allowed.
That is like, I'll pray for your struggle, honey.
Peace be with you. Peace out. Like I'm just gonna leave.
What's funny about what Josh and what Chelsea just said is like, so we're on a family topic currently. Have you ever seen like these two things converging on one another, where it's friendship, family, and you're forced to be friends with people just because they're family, and you like we don't have to say their names, but there's family members. I don't even like you like that, but I'm forced to hang out with you because we're family, and like I like that person, but I don't know that I like you or agree with your ideals. But here we are together.
Yeah,
Yes.
I want to extend that to not just family, but also like the family friend. Like my dad, like I said, Air Force buddies and stuff. One of his friends would bring by his daughter, and she was my age. We played. She was the worst. So even like friends that you have to hang out with because she would just take stuff. Like mine. Come on, stop stealing my stuff. Anyway, go ahead.
Have a memory from when you were 5.
I do. Yeah, her name was Amy.
I do.
She cheated.
She cheated at everything.
At board games and stuff.
I was going to say, it's really interesting because I think because my family is so small and because it was just me and my brother was the little
Weasel Boy,
meanie poo-poo head Weasel Boy all the time. Like, and cheated and all that stuff. Like, I would just take my toys and go in the corner. And I feel like I do that as an adult a lot. Like, I have cousins who are just, I really just want to cuss right now, but they were just stupid. I have taken my toys and I have gone to the corner. I'm not going to any of their functions. I don't care if they're getting married. I don't care if they're having babies. I'm done. Like I just value my time too much to just sit there and just pretend like we're all cool. I don't know.
Yeah. I feel
just
you.
Kind of one of those. Yeah, one of those things.
I wish I could
You're
pretend
lucky that
get
you were
along.
allowed to do that. Sorry. You're lucky you were allowed to do that because I was the little weasel boy who would just follow my brother as soon as he left the room. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Yeah, it drove me brother crazy. Anyway, what were you saying, Lizette? Sorry.
I wish that I could like easily fake that we're getting along because I feel like my whole family you can see it on their face.
Oh
like,
yeah,
it's
you're
just
on
right
sleeve,
here that you're not feeling it. But if I'm quite honest, I liked my non-blood relatives a lot more than I liked my blood relatives.
Yeah,
because they never broke any of my shit. Like that's just they never broke any of my stuff.
That's number one.
Yeah, and then when we had step one, and I love him now dearly, but at the time I didn't like him because he broke my Barbie like dollhouse, and he was not my favorite person at the time. But now you're okay, you're passable. Like I could deal with you. But at the time, he was not my best friend, and even I think that the childhood moments when your parents force you to be friends with certain people, kind of when you're an adult, you're like, I don't have to be friends with them, but I don't necessarily want to be rude either. So it's kind of that fine line of how do you have a happy medium.
Oh, I've cut so many people off, and I don't care. I've told my mom right to her face, like, those are your friends. I was forced to be friends with those people. And I still, like, have love in my heart for those people as family, but I make a conscious decision to not have to talk to them because I know I'm just going to get irritated or pissed off. Or, like, the ones that are, like, this isn't just, like, the people that have it hard and blame the whole world for their struggles. It's also the ones that are affluent. I'm like, hey, you were born with a lot of advantages, and you don't seem to realize that that's the only reason you are where you're at. So I think you can. I think you're more than welcome to cut people off as you get older. And you don't even have to explain yourself. You know why? Because you're an adult.
You got to live your life. Closure is not a real thing. Just let them do their life over there. You do yours over here. And that happens. There doesn't need to be any animosity. Just you like turkey, I like pastrami. Come on.
All right, this next one, I think it really reflects imposter syndrome, and I think a lot of people have it, but there are moments at work, and it doesn't just have to be like, how did I get here, but maybe, how did the job end up like this? I was never expecting this. But those moments in work that you have that create experiences like this. And I'm going to start with a lot of people don't know that you could travel for work. And I think what created these moments for me personally, and hopefully they created them for the audience, was I found myself after being out of the Air Force for about 4 years, landing a job where I had a company car. I was getting on airplanes, and I was way overpaid for my age, and I need to get back there someday. But I was sitting on an airplane to Las Vegas, I think maybe, and I was thinking to myself, how did I get here? And I kind of cut out I earned it every step of the way, whether it be through my interviews, whether it be through numbers, whether it be through ability. Like, I earned it. But for some reason, in that moment, I'm sitting on these airplanes, and it hit me like a lot of different flights. One flight I paid for first class from Washington, D.C., because it was Tampa to Washington, D.C., and I paid for first class from Washington, D.C. back to Los Angeles. And it was my first time ever being in first class. And I got all my drinks and everything and a meal because it was a super long flight, right? And I just was thinking to myself the whole time, listening to my sad Justin Timberlake music, how did I get here? Like, what is happening right now? I could be sitting next to like an athlete or an agent or a lawyer or some music. I was sitting next to a rap star on one of the flights I was on. I didn't know who it was, but his agent was like, yeah, that's so-and-so. And I was like, dope.
Because I make up a name for him.
To Lil K. Nope.
Okay, good.
Take that one back.
Uh-oh.
But Lil Note.
Special K.
How about that? How about Lil Note?
Lil Note.
But yeah, so for me, it was that. Those were my, wow, how did I get here? And I'm just in that, and I can go take myself back to that moment anytime I need to. Josh, do you have anything like that where you were just kind of in the moment with work or something that pulled it out of you that people can relate to?
I was going to get into like the fugue kind of almost hallucinogenic state you get from working too much at a job that's way too difficult. But I'm going to go your way instead. And I got stationed in Italy with the Air Force, and I was very young and being paid too little for the work, unlike you. But anyway, as soon as I got to Italy, that weekend was the squadron retreat, and the squadron retreat was to go up in the Dolomites and go skiing and snowboarding and stuff. So I got in with my supervisor, and we got in the car and we drove up to the mountain, and we all just had a good time up there. I didn't do much snowboarding or skiing because I didn't have any gear or anything. You know, I was brand new in Italy, but I got to just hang out there pretty much by myself all day on top of a mountain that was covered white. There was a pizza, like Italian pizza right there, like order a la carte. There's wine. I'm just sitting on a snowy mountain. I'm like, how did I get here? This is one of the coolest things I've ever done. And I'm, it's almost like it was free. Like, even though, hard work, blah, blah, blah. But, a lot of people join the military because travel is one of the big pulls. It's not always true for everyone. Not everyone gets to do that. So I felt very fortunate and out of body for sure, like straight velvety,
like staring at yourself,
snow,
right? Like you're staring at yourself from up here. Like, is this where I'm at right now?
For sure. Like, it's definitely something you would ruin the moment by taking a really long set of selfies, but it was before selfies. It was like right before selfies were big and big.
You were still on MySpace.
Cameras. Yeah, still on MySpace.
No,
there was Facebook. There was Facebook. Yeah.
Chelsea, what about you?
So I think one of the things that was really interesting in kind of like my career path, and I have had that like same like jet set travel and stuff like that for work. I was in Poland for a while, working over there, but the first time that it really hit me that like I have seriously come from absolutely nothing. My family is dirt poor. My mom still makes minimum wage. That's just the way it is. But that moment of reflecting like, oh my God, is when I took a job in New York City and my office was in the Chrysler building. And
wow.
I had been, I was in college when Six and the City was on. And so you always see the Chrysler building in the background. It is like the iconic building, even I would say almost more so than the Empire State Building. And so to just go in every single day, every day, again and again, even though I was underpaid, overworked, everything was crazy, just going into that building and being like,
lived in a closet.
Crap, like I work here. And I lived in a closet, but it's right along 42nd Avenue or 42nd Street, excuse me. And at the end of 42nd Street on the East River is where the UN is. And so I would sometimes be at work until like the middle of the night, but during General Assembly week, I would just have my face up to the glass and just watch all of the motorcades going and realizing like, these are all the world leaders just driving right by my office, and they're all like looking up at the building, because it's a gorgeous building. And
man,
it really was that out of body experience. And I don't know. It's kind of hard because like I've been here in Texas for a couple of years, and there's absolutely nothing in the world that makes me feel accomplished or like I'm doing anything right now. I mean, it's just kind of, I'm just kind of stuck in this tedium, and I can't wait to get back to New York and to feel like, I don't know, like I'm doing so, like I'm a part of something that's a little bit bigger than just
the city
me sitting in my house in the suburbs.
Yeah, the
like
city is mad electric.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Lizette, you're up to bat. What do you think?
So I haven't had a job that actually allows me to travel, which kind of sucks. I wish I did. I'm everybody's least favorite person to talk to, according to my career, and I know how I got there. But I'm going to go with my college.
College?
Yeah, I studied a couple of years at MJC, and then when I had a family member who I loved dearly passed away, I knew that before he passed that I was going to eventually try to get into this performing arts school. And that was the goal, right? I was going to go all the way to Mexico and go to this performing arts school because he was there. He was like another dad to me. So I was like, that was the plan. I'm going to do a couple years here and then go. But he passed before I had a chance to even audition. And their audition process is a year. So I went all the way to Mexico for a year, auditioned, got in. I got the #1 spot, and I remember looking at the paper and still not really like, when they post it, I couldn't really believe that I had gotten in. I was like, I don't think this is right. Like, I don't know if this is correct. Maybe I'll come back tomorrow and see if it's still there. And then I came back, and I didn't take any pictures of it. It's something that I can pretty much like remember it very, very detailed. And it took 2 years to finish the program. And then I got honors. Thank you for the balloons. I graduated with honors, and I remember thinking, how did I get to this spot? Like, what did I do? Because Spanish is my second language. It's not my first. And I had to do my reports in Spanish. I didn't know how to really write it. I could read it really slow, but it was just really hard. Then they make you pick up Latin. And I'm like, I don't want to pick up Latin. That's even harder. So it felt unreal, almost like I wasn't there, but I was. So now when something's like really, really hard, I go back to that moment that like I want to be back to where I excelled, and I couldn't believe that I excelled.
That's awesome.
Okay. Yeah, I feel you in a very slight way. You have a way cooler story. Mine is just, I went to art school. I was so proud of myself just to get into art school. So you getting #1 spot, out in, Mexico City, that's dope. Good job. Balloons.
Yeah, thank you. It was really, really like different.
Do you guys, so I love this. And I think the audience can relate to this. I think that one of the messages I want to send from my experience is don't take those moments for granted when you're in those moments. Because I think I got so used to doing it that I started to take it for granted. Go ahead, Josh.
So I told Fry about this before y'all showed up, I think. Do you guys ever have this experience where like you're in a dope moment like this, like a really cool moment, whether it's a big achievement or you're just having a great time that night, in particularly incredible, and you sort of like willfully take a mental snapshot, like I intend to remember this moment for the rest of my life.
Like this?
You ever do that like presently?
All the time.
Yeah.
Anytime I feel like there's something that it meant something, even if it's not something for me, I kind of want to engrave that in my memory. Like I was at the grocery store, and this man, he was literally trying to pay for his stuff, but his card wasn't going through, and I could tell that he was homeless. He was also a veteran. You could tell based off of what he had on him. He had his dog tags on and stuff like that. And I was like, you know what? I got it. It's charge it with my stuff. And the lady looked at me like I was weird for offering to pay. And I'm like, she's like, you don't have to, you don't have to. I'm like, I know, just go ahead and charge it. And it's something that I reflect on often when I'm purchasing. If there's someone who I can see is like struggling, if it's a couple of things, I'm not going to mind. But I feel like a lot of people don't realize that being selfless is probably the biggest reward.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah.
And so they judge you for it. I'm like, this is their moment. Let them have their stuff. He's going to eat off of it. I don't care. Like, money is money to me. It's not that big a deal.
Yeah. Mine is interactions with people. If I'm paying for somebody, it's because I'm in a hurry and their card won't go through. Not as nice as you.
Just give me it. No, I don't want the receipt.
Oh, it definitely, there's been times where it's happened like that, and I feel bad, but I'm like, no, I legit have to go. Like, here. Oh, it's,
do you do
it's free.
Do you do the really angry laugh where you're like, no, it's fine?
No, I don't even let them know. Like, I sneak it to the cashier so that, because also, like, often in times like that, the cashier's like dealing with somebody that's kind of frustrated and struggling. Yeah. And I kind of like, I'll do like a side hand, like,
everyone just wants it to be over. Good job.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone just wants it to be over.
You can be selfishly selfless. Is that possible?
Oh.
Yes, you can.
Liz is saying yes. Liz is saying no.
Oh my gosh! Like, no, this is what. So, like, not to like just get like all about New York, but I feel like this is why people think people in New York are rude when they're actually so nice.
Okay.
They're so kind because you ask for directions. 10 people are going to be like, no, I'm really busy. But the one person is like, you know what? You're just another sucker who's standing in the way. I'm going to help you so I can clear this obstruction from the sidewalk and keep it moving.
Keep it moving.
You'll see moms with strollers, and a guy in a business suit will like grab the front of the stroller and carry the front of the stroller with him down the stairs just to help everybody else that's like backing up behind her also get down the stairs. Like, and they don't turn around to look for the thank you or anything
No
like that.
communication.
It's just kind of part of the way the city flows. Like, it's just great. Like, saw a woman take a huge spill. She had like just binders and books and paper that flew everywhere. She broke her ankle. But
oh no.
But like 30 people saw this whole thing happen. We had someone calling 911. We had someone picking up all the papers. They were like organizing everything back together, got it in her briefcase. The whole thing was over in like 90 seconds. It was amazing. Just done.
The power of people coming together for their own convenience.
That reminds me of all those videos of you see in like Mumbai and in India with everyone packing themselves on that train. Like the way they pack on that train. That's got to take some kind of communal teamwork that is on another level. Like one solid mind together, making the sardines fit, you know?
And you see the cross-country trains where people ride on the roofs of the trains, the ones that don't go through the
That's what I'm talking about.
They lift each other up on those and stuff like that, so they can all get on. It's wild.
Because they want the train to get going.
Yeah.
So, like, as many people, but as fast as possible, and let's go.
Exactly. So I love it.
Maybe not selflessly selfish, but more like selfless convenience.
There you go. Selfless convenience.
Well, you're thinking about the greater good in some small way.
Yeah.
I've got the next two queued up, and that's how we'll end it. But quick story on that. So, again, kind of like Chelsea, I grew up kind of broke. And I'm not going to go down this path. But I don't know what a lot of things were. Like, I didn't have my first, like, chicken wing until I was off to the Air Force. Like, I didn't know what a hot wing was. I just knew my mom made chicken sometimes. You know? Like, I didn't know, like, you sat down and had hot wings, and you had 30 of them. And it was 15 cents too. I didn't know that existed. So like my younger siblings that are living a different life than I did and don't understand the benefits that they've had growing up that I had to suffer through them getting to utilize. Like it's totally different lives, right? But so I didn't know what pay it forward was at Starbucks. And this is into my adult life now. I never experienced it. Okay? So the lady at the Starbucks window goes, "Oh, the guy in front of you took care of it." And I said, "Thank you." And I just drove away. I had no
You're allowed
clue.
to do that. You don't have to pay it.
But I didn't even know. It was never explained to me that this was a thing. Yeah. There was and when I told one of the girls at work, she goes, "Oh, you broke the line." And I was like, "What do you mean I broke the line?" And she goes, "That's a thing. They do that, and they try to get, like, long lines of people being, like, altruistic and paying for people behind them." And I was like, "Oh, I feel like a total asshole."
Because I had no clue. Popularized that.
I didn't know that.
No, I knew it was a thing, but I have always thought it was so stupid.
We don't do it like that in LA.
Like, well, what if you know? I mean, first of all, it's Starbucks. Like, let's be for real. So you're ordering something, and if at a Starbucks, so you know how much it's going to cost, and if you don't have an extra $5 for yourself, then you probably are only coming in for like water, let's say, or like a drip coffee,
or a drip,
or the bathroom.
What is going on here that like we need to keep paying for people behind with like no end in sight? This just seems stupid. Like,
you know what it reminds me of?
It's a way different dynamic than paying for someone's groceries in front of you as you see that they're struggling to feed themselves and struggling with their card, or like, or just having a bad day, or the bank hates them and has flagged some suspicious transaction or something like that. And just letting them have their groceries. But it's Starbucks. I mean, you go in there with a plan.
Yo,
it's really kind of a jerk move, honestly, because you're doing it because you want to have this hope for humanity, right? You're doing it for you to just imagine how far the line's going to go, right? But the cashier has to deal with it now. So you've burdened her with this glorious purpose, jerk, and then you burden every subsequent customer with do I, don't I? And then someone behind you orders 55 burgers, 55 taters, 55 tots, 55 tacos, and then you got to pay for it. But you know what it reminds me of? It's kind of a sick version of when you're on the walking trail and at the trailhead, someone's left a good walking stick for you. Like they found one, they leave it at the trailhead for you. But that's the good version. Pay it forward at Starbucks is the jerk version.
Yeah. I didn't even notice the thing till today. So,
you just learned about it? Liz?
Yeah, you just now taught me because I had no idea
Wow.
what that was.
You're in LA though, right?
No, she's
I'm
in the Bay Area.
Oh.
in the Bay Area.
You're in the Bay.
But-
Okay.
It's worse because that happened to me 3 times, and 3 times I just said thank you and left. So I broke it 3 times.
That's bad luck, dude.
And
Well,
We
you
should make
just-
sorry.
we should
Was
make a
it
horror movie
dawning
about
on
this.
you? It was dawning
Yeah.
on you as I was
You didn't
speaking that
pay
you
it
broke the
forward.
line 3 times.
Yeah, I'm like,
Wow.
really? So I'm the asshole. Broke it 3 times.
Yeah, dude. That could be an urban legend thing. Like, we should make a movie about this. I broke the line 3 times. Oh no, that's
I know,
bad.
right?
He's
She
coming.
just drove. She drove away from Dutch Bros like winning.
Yeah. Yeah. The monster who
The
kills
person
you
in
is
front of
like
me
the
was
order.
flirting with me, and
Anyway.
it's not that.
Hey there, thanks so much for tuning in today's episode. We really hope you loved it, but we went a little bit long. So catch us in 2 weeks for the conclusion of this week's Gorp. Remember, you can always reach us on Instagram at Gorp Show, on Twitter at Gorp Show, on TikTok at Gorp Show. You can find the show at the TheSadFan Podcast Network on YouTube. And of course, you can find me at the TheSadFan Cast and at the TheSadFan12 on both TikTok and Twitter. Thanks so much again. We appreciate you tuning in, and we will see you in 2 weeks with the conclusion of this week's episode.
No way.